What's up, guys? It's John Reeves Live, and today we're going to be continuing our journey through BAND-MAID's documentary, and I am really freaking stoked for this one. The last, we really got to learn a lot more about two amazing freaking members of the band, and in this one, we're going to be checking out two more. I'm very excited about this. I honestly was pretty stunned by how good the quality of these documentaries are. You never know what you're getting into kind of sometimes whenever you get into fan-made documentaries. This is extremely well done, extremely well written, narrated, edited. Everything was freaking flawless in these first two episodes, and I cannot wait to get into these next two. If y'all are new to my channel, please smash that sub button and let's do this. 3, 2, 1, boom! Production. I like it.
What the hell is this? Ooh, that was way too loud. I'm sorry about that. All right. Who is the next one? Let's see here. Oh.
Who the hell is this?
She was the one. Wait. She's also a DJ?
What?
Really? Okay.
She does
then.
DJing?
Let's talk about AKANE.
Dude, she is amazing. I mean, god tier great drummer.
AKANE was born on December 14th in Hyogo, a prefecture very close to Osaka.
Okay.
She lived with her mother, her stepfather, and for a short period of time with her stepbrother, who is 11 years older. During her youngest years, AKANE was very unsociable and the one to do whatever she wanted, like leaving kindergarten to go home or not participating in games and activities with the other kids. She was, as she likes to say while laughing, a real problem child. Note that in Japan, children go to school and come back home on their own very early, sometimes at 3 or 4.
Oh my god.
Over the years, she became more and more friendly and discovered that talking to other people wasn't that bad after all. During her school years, she loved home economics and art, but hated studying. She was also bad at physical activities. Who would have thought? Being a huge fan of manga, AKANE was easily influenced by The Prince of Tennis or Slam Dunk to try different sports, but soon realized that her motivation was gone pretty quickly.
Okay, I just have to say something on that really quick. It's wild to think that she was not athletic because of how much athleticism it takes to be as freaking technical, fast, and aggressive on the drums as she is. Like, that is insane to me to think that she was not in some way or another, I don't know, like an athletic, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe she just didn't want to be, but she actually was really athletic. I don't know, dude, but her cardio is amazing with just watching her play drums.
Person who wants to try everything that could interest her, but nothing lasted very long, except one thing. Yeah. And this is something that we've seen in Saiki and Konami's childhood. AKANE has loved music since she was very little.
She's playing the drums on her back.
It started with piano in kindergarten and lasted a few years before she stopped because the joy wasn't there anymore. Although she can still play some songs on the piano, even today.
Dude, that's really clean, actually. Okay.
She continued for 5 years with trombone, but it wasn't something she saw herself pursuing.
Freaking trombone.
At the end of her trombonist career, she realized that a lot of her friends joined bands, so she went to a lot of live performances and music festivals with them. That's how the idea of being in a band started to grow in AKANE's head. So she joined the K-On! Club to form a band. To get an idea of what it was like, you can watch the anime K-On! AKANE started with the guitar, but soon realized that her hands were too small to play.
That is wild that she could have been a guitarist as well. Like, she plays all these instruments. That's so freaking cool.
And it was impossible for her to continue. The bass was off the table too, as you can imagine, and she's no singer, at least according to her, so what's left? Yes, drums. And once AKANE tried a drum kit, she felt that was it.
That's so wild. Like, that's so unique. Her drum fills are so unique. That's one thing I love about her, man.
While learning drums, she started to listen to rock bands like El Garden and Bump of Chicken to end up making covers of their songs.
Bump of Chicken? Is that the name of that band, Bump of Chicken? Seriously, I'm going to have to check this band out. Bump of Chicken, I think is what you just said. Freaking.
While learning drums, she started to listen to rock bands like El Garden and Bump of Chicken
I have to
end
check
up
them out.
making covers of their songs. She also learned about the band Maximum the Hormone and their female drummer,
That sounds awesome.
Now. AKANE was stunned to discover that the drummer of this hard-rockin' band was not a man.
Yeah.
This was the kind of drummer she wanted to become.
Oh, hell yeah, they
she
look
kept
awesome.
This picture of a strong female drummer in her mind as a role model. It was, and still is, important to AKANE to have an impact on anyone who thinks that a female drummer can only play soft and not hard.
I freaking love
With
that.
this image in mind, she practiced every week at her school, the only place that had a drum kit available, as she didn't own one. The other
Dang.
problem was that she was alone in her club, so she could only practice by herself.
Huh?
By the end of her second year, she wanted to do a graduation live performance, so she gathered some of her friends from her old symphonic band days and performed a copy of the group Pez, a Japanese instrumental band consisting of a trumpet, a saxophone, a double bass, a keyboard vocalist, and of course, drums.
I'm learning
You might
so
be
much
surprised
about
to
their
learn that
bands over
AKANE
there.
wanted to work as a hairdresser after graduation. But as she started drums and was 100% committed to improve her playing skills, she completely changed her mind and instead wanted to enroll in a music school. Against the will of her teacher, but with the support of her parents,
No, it does.
AKANE went to the Tokyo School of Music for 2 years to follow her passion.
That's awesome.
She was surrounded by talented musicians who wanted to become professional. Even though she was just a beginner in her class, she worked very hard and played every day to catch up with the other students. It was during those years that she joined a band who did a combined live show with another band featuring the one and only Konami. She
No
immediately
way!
acknowledged how good Konami was with the guitar and wanted to know more about her. It turned out that they lived very close from each other, so
Oh, that's cool.
they quickly became friends. Konami used to ask AKANE to play drums on her demos before sending them to record companies. Unfortunately, AKANE's band didn't stay together very long, and she was back to square one. But AKANE was resourceful, so she started a part-time job as a waitress in a music restaurant in Yokohama.
That's
She could
freaking
watch
awesome.
live performances and sometimes have a sit behind the kit to play when the restaurant closed for the day. She told the manager that she plays drums, so he asked if she could play right now. And she did.
What's the name of this band?
AKANE played Highway Star from Deep Purple,
Oh, nice.
and the manager agreed to let her play. He even offered to train her.
Dang.
From that moment, AKANE trained every day to improve her skills and become a better drummer. We are now
Dude, that
in
is so freaking
2013,
cool.
and BAND-MAID is actively looking for 3 female musicians to join a rock band while wearing maid outfits.
Okay, I cannot wait to get to the part where like BAND-MAID is an idea. Like, who even came up with this idea? I don't know. I can't wait until we get to that part. Like, I feel like we're tiptoeing a lot around it. We're going to get there. Just each member, I feel like we've got to get there with the members, you know? But man, I love the way that they've written this documentary together. It just gives you like so much backstory about each member, and it's storyboarded very well.
I say 3 because at this time, they weren't searching for a lead vocalist yet. Our little pigeon already recruited Konami, so the
Our little
band
pigeon.
was looking for a drummer and a bassist. As you can imagine, Konami talked to AKANE about this opportunity. She trusted her with her demos, so why shouldn't she? At first, Konami mentioned the label and AKANE was excited, until Konami revealed that they are recruiting for an all-girls band. In case you wonder, she hadn't even mentioned the part where they would all have to be dressed in maid outfits. AKANE had too many bad experiences from all-girl bands, so she wasn't really thrilled about this idea. But the restaurant she was working at was about to close for good, so she took some time to think about it and finally decided to join Konami.
Oh, that's awesome.
What about the maid outfit, you would ask? Well, she was reluctant at first, but how do you know that it's bad without even trying? After all, if Konami is already there, it'll be okay, right? So she was willing to give it a try anyway. Konami sent her some demos, and AKANE found the music really cool right away. And the image of an all-girls band dressed like maids playing this kind of music was really interesting for her. She felt that her reluctance against all-girl bands and maid outfits was fading away as her motivation kept growing. Just a few months later, a 5-members acoustic band was created under the name Mochi to Cheese. What's the
Mochi
link
to
with AKANE, you
cheese?
could ask? Well, AKANE and Konami were both part of this side band with 3 members from the band Predia.
The name of this was Mochi to Cheese, and I freaking love these band names. Dude, who is coming up with them? They need a full-time job just being a band namer.
Idol Group formed in 2010 under the same agency as BAND-MAID, Platinum Passport. They started to perform in the streets with
Mochi
acoustic
to
covers
cheese.
and even performed live a few times over the 2 years of activity.
Oh, nice.
The band also covered Forward, a song from BAND-MAID. A single was released in September 2015, but only 2 months later, they sent their last tweet and posted their last entry in their blog.
Aw.
After that, we did not hear from Mochi to Cheese again. Their YouTube channel is still available, so you can at least watch a fraction of their performances.
I might just have to do this. Dude, yes. Mochi to cheese. Love the way she used those chimes.
モチチーズでした。バイバイ。
Let's get back to BAND-MAID. With all those years of practice, AKANE had a solid base of drumming to bring to the band, but she didn't have a lot of practice with the twin pedals on high-paced songs. She did buy one when she was in high school, but she gave up pretty quickly, only to come back on it later and work as much as she could to try and master it. With BAND-MAID,
She's crushing
AKANE
it
had
now.
to use twin pedals for the first time with Thrill. A painful first experience for her, but the feedback was incredible, so the band members wanted to add more twin pedals in the next songs over the years. This is something that AKANE wanted to do as well, but remember that from 2016, the songs are written by Konami, and Konami loves fast-paced rhythm.
速いのは一番速い BPM。
I think it's 225.
225。
お
惜しいう
ちには225ない
ない
ね。
200。
じゃあ次225を目指します。
Dude, okay, for anybody that doesn't know, that's Herman Lee, the guitarist of freaking Dragon Force, who wrote Through the Fire and the Flames, which, like, is their biggest song, but they have way faster songs out there as well, too. That's just one of the most notably hard songs out there in the entire world. So the fact that they're talking to him, and she's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's my new goal, is 225 BPM. Holy crap, dude, Jesus.
Usually,
Nice.
Konami songs are based at about 170 beats per minute, but AKANE struggled to play the twin pedals over 130 beats per minute because of her lack of solid practice on twin pedaling. But she wouldn't be defeated that easily. BAND-MAID is a hard rock band. They needed to be hard on their music, and AKANE had to be able to play faster. So what do you think she did? She thought about how she moves her legs and found ways to improve her movements to be able to play faster. And what's the best way to do it? Practice, practice, practice.
And in those freaking shoes too, man. That's dedication to your craft, my friend. And also, like, me jumping into the fandom when I did, I never would have known that she had any issues with playing. They're calling them the twin pedals. I've always called them double pedals, but I never would have even imagined that she had any issues with that because she crushes, man.
Muscle memory.
Yeah.
AKANE tried to move her legs every time and everywhere she could as if she was playing the twin pedals.
Oh, that's cool.
So her legs remembered those movements. She was also pushed by Konami, who kept including a lot of twin pedals in her songs.
Yeah.
A challenge that AKANE couldn't refuse to face, as she is not the type to admit that she can't keep up with a song.
I like that.
After a lot of work and thinking about her playstyle, AKANE is now able to use twin pedals anytime, in any song.
Right? Oh, damn.
Did you know that BAND-MAID performed with a man once? No? Do you want to know more about this story? Of course you do. It was in 2015, on December 4th to be exact, at the Shinjuku club Science, that AKANE was replaced by a male drummer for a performance.
What?
Why, you might ask?
Please tell me he wore a maid outfit. Please. This has to happen. If this guy didn't wear it, I don't believe in him anymore. I don't think he's a real person.
AKANE mentioned in an interview around that time that she just had an injury and she needed time to rest and heal. Don't worry, it wasn't a life or death situation, as AKANE came to this performance disguised as a staff member to support her bandmates. She tweeted 2 months later with a photo of her holding a lot of drumsticks with messages written from fans from all over the world. BAND-MAID has the best community of fans. Am I right?
Hell yeah.
Now, I'm sure that many of you maniacs know that AKANE likes to eat. A lot. She can eat 120 bowls of soba when on average, a man eats 70 bowls and a woman 50. Or even 30 plates at a kaiten sushi, a restaurant where plates of sushi are placed on a conveyor belt that
awesome.
winds through the restaurant and moves past every table, counter, and seat. And believe me when I tell you that 30 is a lot.
Yeah, for real.
She loves eating food so much that you can see her eating in a lot of the music videos over the years. I'll bet she really enjoyed filming those.
I freaking love that so much.
AKANE was invited for a few episodes of BAND-MAID Nippon, and they played a game where Miku and Saiki had to guess her favorite food outside of Japan.
ご飯何米ってこと？ご飯米？ピザ。
ピザ。
主食ってやるの？メインのもの。こってりじゃないでしょきっと。こってりじゃないね。パエリア。パエリアです。ね、勘で言ったら当たったし。
Wait, what's Blady? What is
At the
that?
creation of BAND-MAID, AKANE was designated as the leader, as she appeared to be the most responsible. Now, every member has a different role equally important, and having a leader was just not relevant anymore.
I love that.
AKANE is also famously known for goofing around every chance she gets.
Yes. Oh, damn. She messing with us right now, right? She messing with us? I was like, what?
Even during
Damn,
live
dude.
performance.
Oh, my God.
And she's not the only one, as the other band.
She was like at the starting of this, self-proclaim I'm not a singer. And I'm like listening and I was like, damn, not a singer. I was like, she's dead on. And I was like, wait, her mouth was a little bit not matching perfectly. And then that vibrato, I was like, there's no way in hell that is not like well-trained vocals. That was so funny, dude. It was so funny. Like I'm like tongue-tied.
Members try to make her laugh by pulling faces. Sometimes it gives us some very special moments to watch. And sometimes it just works too well. BAND-MAID is really putting on a show when it comes to live performances, because these 5 hard rockin' maids are really enjoying themselves, don't you think? Alright, it's time to talk about AKANE's drum style. But let's keep it simple, shall we? And as I didn't become a musician since our last video on Konami, I will let today's special guests talk to you about this very interesting subject.
Oh, nice.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait to hear what they have to say about AKANE. Let's go.
BAND-MAID is a group of individuals that are just such heavy hitters on their instruments. When they come together, the overall sound of the ensemble is amazing. The rhythms, the harmonies, the quality of the vocals, the songwriting, the skill sets of how everything is woven together is a very amazing listening experience. I've only seen the videos, but from moment one, it had me hooked. Now, AKANE's drumming is, when you see someone that is so fluid and relaxed and they're playing at such a high velocity and the demand is so great, the level of respect is top. It is top for me. So she has a way of laying back in the groove and just flowing so well, but a lot of the times these tempos are burning, like they're going fast, but she has this thing where it's like effortless mastery. She lays back. There's all these augmentations and interactions within the orchestration of the song with everybody else. Like there's always these complicated things happening, but when you watch her play, the legato, like it's smooth. It's like you don't really notice how difficult everything is. And for me, that's the major selling point, because anytime something seems like smooth and easy, it's not. It's because the person is so good.
I agree with this.
They put in so many thousands of hours on their instrument, and their ability to have all that ensemble listening go on allows them to be that effortless mastery that I just brought up. I will never get tired of watching AKANE play. I mean, to be just completely honest, it's inspirational, and it just makes me want to be a better musician.
Hell yeah.
AKANE is a very impressive musician. For many reasons. One of them is her constant evolving. It's almost a rule among musicians to get to a certain level and then stop, because that's good enough. But there's no such thing as good enough for AKANE.
I love their shirt right here.
Better, not only in her skills as a player, but also as a writer. There's not a single dull moment in her writing. There's always something different and interesting and creative happening. Her creativity has no limits. She almost never repeats herself. That thing where the second verse is completely different from the first. But
I like
you can
that.
still tell it's the same thing. It represents the same thing. That's very impressive writing. AKANE is a drummer's drummer, but she's also everybody's drummer. What I mean by that is, to someone who's not familiar with the drums, she sounds very impressive. She is, but it's not impenetrable. It's not tedious or self-serving. She's always serving the music.
Oh, I like that. Damn,
when
he's
you
true.
do know what she's doing, your mind goes blank for a second, because she can write these incredibly intricate parts that are also beautiful. Recent example of that is the Influencer, the transition that goes from first chorus to the second verse, and that part afterwards with the cross sticks and everything. I think they call it the A melody. There's so much happening there. It's so fast. It's so different. And not different from the first verse, different from everything I ever heard from her. There's more music in those, 15 seconds than in 99.99% of all music ever recorded. And you can still dance to it. Then you see her playing live. Doesn't even look like she's doing anything that hard. She doesn't call attention to herself. She just smiles and plays the impossible. She hits very, very, very hard with so little effort. She's so fast. She's so precise. But she's also expressive. There's feeling in her playing. And that's what music is, or should be, is taking your instrument and amplifying your emotions to touch people's hearts. AKANE does that.
My God.
She hits very hard with incredible speed and precision, but she's also putting herself, her feelings into her music. She's joy, she's happiness, fun to be around. She jokes around, she says random things. And her playing is also like that. Her
God, he's so good.
Her music is joyous, is happy, is pleasurable and surprising, and connects the songs. And she's constantly getting better at it. And that's very impressive.
Okay, dude just literally stated nothing but facts there. That was so awesome, man. He just worded everything perfectly. Well done to him for that. That was so freaking smooth.
Where do I even begin with AKANE? Oh, I've tried covering her drums so many times. Never really got them right because they're so complex. She's definitely the hardest drummer I've ever tried to cover. The skills required alone are insane, but it's not only the skill, it also requires an insane amount of memory skills because she's constantly changing up her drum patterns, keeping things fresh. It never gets stagnant, but it's so hard to remember all the different little changes she makes. And somehow she's still able to smile through all of it while she's playing. She plays with so much power, so much energy, and perfectly complements all the other instruments around her. You can tell from what she's playing that she listens to her fellow bandmates and does what she can to accentuate their parts instead of just playing underneath them or playing over them. She gives the song exactly what it needs. Such a well-rounded drummer. Okay, I'll shut up now.
Once again,
okay,
I've been telling you the story of someone who has been in love with music since forever and tried many instruments until she found the one that was perfect for her.
It
Drums.
definitely is.
Even though she was alone in her club during high school, without a drum kit to practice on at home, AKANE did her best to learn the basics by herself and was able to join a music school and pursue her goal of becoming a professional musician. From a child who wanted to try everything but couldn't find the motivation to keep at it, to a truly passionate musician, AKANE kept doing her best to live for and from music. Working at a music restaurant to end up playing drums there.
That's so cool.
Joining BAND-MAID with Konami and within this already incredible band. Learning and evolving towards this image of a strong hard rock female drummer she always wanted to be associated with.
I love that.
AKANE wanted to prove that gender has nothing to do with her drumming and how hard BAND-MAID's music is. And we can all agree that she does this every time she hits her drums.
Yes.
No matter how difficult it was, no matter how many obstacles she faced, AKANE destroyed everything in her way so she could achieve what makes her special as a person and a drummer.
Stay with me, you carry like that moment. I never change, that love is beautiful.
God, man, so freaking well done. AKANE, my God, I will never look at her the same again. Very well done, man. I, again, cannot say enough about how freaking good Orange's freaking video is. This is so freaking well done. Okay, so before we get into the next one, I just wanted to kind of say a couple of things about AKANE because, to be honest with you, she has been one major thing that drew me to BAND-MAID. Her drumming skills are freaking amazing. She hits so hard. Like, her drum, whenever she is playing, it sounds like she's beating the crap out of them, but like everybody else just said, it looks like she's not. She's like smiling with her whole freaking face. You could tell she's happy whenever she's playing. Whenever I saw her live, like them talking about her eating, man, I am a foodie to the core. I cannot wait to be going to Japan just to smash food. I love that about her. I think it's just awesome that she has like been through so much to get to where she is now. She's tried so many different instruments. She's practiced so long to get here, and she's crushing it, man. And definitely her goal of showing that you can have a powerful female drummer, she is definitely that and then some, man. She has definitely became one of my favorite female drummers of all time. She absolutely crushes it. Not just favorite female drummers of all time, one of my favorite drummers. She is amazing. But now it is finally time to get into Misa's video, and I'm so freaking stoked. Let's get into that right now. Freaking swipe it!
ベースミサにしましょうか。ミサちゃんは1回目で言ってびっくりされるのはステージドリンクがウイスキーストレート。
本当にあの人酔っ払うんです。
本当に2時間とかは
Hold on one second. So I don't have whiskey straight, but I do have some proper 12, which is Irish whiskey, and that's kind of whiskey straight. So I don't have regular whiskey, but I've got Irish whiskey. We're going to drink a little bit of that for freaking Misa. Cheers, my friends.
します
と
が、
結構後半はもう、フラフラというか、
もう
ベロベロとい
ベ
うか、
ロベロですぽね。出来上がりつつある感じですぽね。
かなって感じ。
まあでも、よりね、なんだろう、グルービーなベース
Her
を
bass gets
ベ
groovier?
ースの演奏が良くなるから
緊張しいだったりちょっとするところがある
あ
ので、
そうだ
ね
ピュアだからとてもバンドメイドで一番純粋な心を
そう
もう
She gets that liquid courage in
クールビュ
her.
ーティー
クー
な
ルビューティー
アジアンビューティーな
アジアン
感じなんだけど、
海外からのね人気はすごいですぽね、
うん、一番ですね。
ミサミサ
I mean, she stole my heart,
ボールが
so-
起きるぐ
起きる
らい
ぐらい。だって怖い印象を受けるもんね、
ね
最初は。
あんまり
フ
こう
ァンの
わからないから
Scared
ね
of her
そうそうそう、怖い人だと思ってましたっていう
Thought she was
コメン
scary?
トよく見る。
ね、でも小学生みたいなねことですごい
ゲラゲラ
くだら
笑う
ないことでミサちゃん一番笑うし
変顔もすごいする。
もう一番そういうの大好きだもん
大好
ね
き。
だから怖いとは一番真逆
真
に
逆です。
いる。
一番面白い人かもしれない。
そうだっぽね。バン
She
ドメ
might be
イド
the
の一番
funniest
面白い
member.
人だっぽね。
Yes, that is amazing.
With an introduction like that, I think we can figure out who's going to be highlighted in today's video. So today, let's talk about Misa.
Freaking Misa. She's so good, dude.
Misa was born on October 15th in Okayama, a prefecture close to Osaka, and next to Hyogo, where Akane was born.
Oh, nice.
According to her mother, she was an easy child to raise, as she used to play by herself. Even though she was a lively child, she always avoided dangerous situations and tried to act like an adult. She loved music and arts in general, but
Dang.
hated studying. And just like Konami and Akane, music has been a part of Misa's life since her early childhood.
And so have bangs, I will say. She had the bangs all the way back then, dude.
As she started to learn piano when she was around 4. In elementary school, she joined a brass band and played alto horn.
Oh, dang.
Right when she entered junior high school, Misa moved to Tokyo due to family circumstances, and her temper changed a lot. She had a hard time fitting in with life in the big city and getting along with her peers from the same grade. She was also afraid to be judged because of her accent, which was different from the other children, and became more and more introverted. In 7th grade, she started to play guitar, but ended up joining a concert band in 9th grade, where she played the trumpet. Even though she did learn a lot of different instruments, she kept learning piano for a few years. In high school, she played as a guitarist vocalist in a Keon club with a Fender Squier model that she bought.
That's freaking cool.
One day, an older friend of Misa asked her if she could join his band as a bassist. Until then, she'd never thought about playing bass. She started to play guitar and always wanted to play drums, but
Oh, dang.
bass? It had never crossed her mind. Misa borrowed a bass and started to play. And even though it was difficult, she loved it and bought a Squier P bass immediately
Oh,
so
nice.
she could give back the bass she borrowed. And one of the main reasons Misa got introduced to music at such an early age was that her mother listened to music all the time. This is how Misa got to hear bands like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and The Who when she was still only in kindergarten.
Oh, damn.
Her
Well
mother
done,
was
Mom.
also very supportive and helped Misa choose the right school when she hesitated between university and professional college. Misa started a course on sound engineering in a professional college before changing to a bass course, as she didn't want to work behind a stage, but on stage
Oh, yeah.
as a professional bassist. Before talking about BAND-MAID, let's take a look at Misa's past experience in the music industry. Except for small bands during her school years, Misa had been a member of a band named Prototype for 5.5 years between 2008 and 2013. Prototype was a small band composed of 4 members, and the band made at least 2 mini-albums and performed several live concerts. We don't have that much information, but it seems that they sold their CDs directly and not
That's cool.
via music stores. They used to perform in and around Shimokitazawa, which is where Misa lived, and Shibuya. There is a review of one of their live performances which states that they sound like the Smashing Pumpkins and are appealing to everyone who loves Western music.
Oh, that's cool.
The person who wrote this review also said that they couldn't stop smiling.
Aw,
It sounds like this band must have played some great music.
that's awesome.
But that's not all. While she was playing for Prototype, Misa joined another band called Hurtist. This band was formed with 6 members who performed live several times before disbanding in October 2012. You can find 3 of their live videos on their YouTube channel.
That's freaking cool.
Misa and AKANE also met in 2012 as they were going to the same school, the Tokyo Music School. They connected immediately as instrumentalists and worked together on several projects. The same year, they made an appearance as actors in an MV of the singer-actress Becky with the song Yoruka Switch. In 2015, Misa, along with Konami and AKANE, were at the 5th anniversary party of the idol band Predia in Zepp, Tokyo.
That's so cool.
You do remember the link between Predia and BAND-MAID, right? There was a band called Mochi to Cheese made by AKANE, Konami, and 3 members from Predia. All right, we are in May 2013. Prototype announced that they will disband in July, and BAND-MAID posted an audition announcement on May 29th. The next month, on June 5th, Misa announced on her old account linked to Prototype that she's going to an audition. Does this mean that Misa had the perfect timing to join BAND-MAID?
Dude, I'm telling you.
Let's see how she was recruited. In another interview, Misa confirmed that AKANE tried to recruit her into BAND-MAID right when Prototype announced their disbanding.
I love this freaking picture, dude. This picture is perfect. Like, look at their personalities, and she's got it both on their chins. But, like, seriously, going through this documentary and watching all these things, there's so many times in this where I've been like, divine intervention or something like that has happened with this band. There's too many coincidences. There's far too many coincidences here for it to not be something bigger going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's wild. It's so cool that, like, all these coincidences have happened to lead them into this place. Divine intervention, homies. That's what I'm thinking. Boom.
But AKANE didn't know about this information, so she was bold enough to invite Misa to join another band. And it paid off.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, Misa has said that she was in izakaya when AKANE called her, and she was pretty drunk, so she had to take at least the night to think about it. Misa listened to the demo and found that the songs were proper rock music and cool.
Yeah.
She was actually afraid that this band would be an idol band.
Oh, damn.
Ooh. As she didn't want to stop playing bass, Misa quickly accepted the invitation to join BAND-MAID the day after AKANE talked to her.
Oh, dang.
So in the end, Miku recruited Konami, who was found on Nico Nico. And then Konami recruited AKANE just after the restaurant she was working at closed, and AKANE recruited Misa just after her group disbanded. Wow. If that is not fate, I don't know what is.
Thank you. Yes,
Now that
totally
Misa
agreed.
had joined BAND-MAID, it's a new start for our favorite bassist. A new start, yes, but with one problem. The maid outfit. Misa was never into cosplay, so she wasn't used to wearing this kind of clothing. She felt really uncomfortable during the first live shows and with the first version of her outfit.
That's one thing I will say. Like, I've always noticed that about her. She dressed completely different. So, like, I'm still curious as to how she got to the outfit that she has now.
It was also around this time when Misa thought about quitting BAND-MAID.
Oh, no.
It was during the first or second one-man performance, and Misa was already working a lot in addition to her work for BAND-MAID. So she was in really bad physical and mental condition.
Aww.
She felt that the music she liked was too far from the music she played with the band. and started to think about leaving and forming a band where she could play the kind of music she liked. She talked to the manager, who proposed that she take a good look at the view from the stage, at the masters and princesses, and decide after that. Thankfully, the reactions and responses from the crowd that day moved Misa deeply enough so she chose to stay with BAND-MAID. She was sure that this band had great potential and could become way bigger. Time flies by, and we are at that moment where Konami is writing songs for the band. From world domination, but more in Conqueror and Unseen World, Misa actively participated in songwriting on her bass lines.
That's awesome.
And has felt more freedom since then. Konami gives out notes from time to time depending on the song and what she has in mind. While writing music, Misa thinks more about what would serve the quality of the song rather than be sure that it's playable immediately. She had difficulties recording some songs of Unseen World because of that, but she managed to get them recorded in the end by spending more time on the hardest parts.
I love her style, man.
Even if a song is really difficult for her, Misa will always practice enough so that she doesn't have to look at her hands while she's playing live.
I love that.
For example, the first part of No God was written by Konami, and she asked Misa to write the rest of the song. At this time, Misa was learning bass and drum programming, so she wrote those two parts,
Oh, that's awesome.
including her solo. It was a new experience for her, and she had to send new riffs to Konami every week for Unseen World.
Dang.
And although she obviously sent her demos to Konami, Misa used to send them to another member, Psyche.
Oh, that's cool.
Misa sent her work to Psyche to confirm that her bass line was easy to sing with, and also because Psyche praises her a lot.
Aw, I love that.
Misa loves to be praised by Psyche when she's working on a new song. As she wrote in an interview, I just send them to her without saying anything in order to get praised by her. That's my source of energy. That makes me enjoy drinking better.
I love that.
What a great group of friends they are.
That makes me enjoy drinking
There
better.
are two particularities regarding Misa when you see her perform on stage. The first one is that she never wears shoes when she's playing, with some exceptions on very hot days during outside performances, because the stage can get really hot. This is something she has done since the beginning of BAND-MAID. You can see her wearing shoes in some MV, but most of the time, she likes to play barefoot.
Oh, nice. How have I never
She answered a question
noticed?
from a fan in 2014 on Twitter, saying that heels hurt her feet and are really hard to walk in, so she chose not to wear anything at all. Misa even ended up with the nickname the Barefoot Assassin.
I love it.
Why? Well, first of all, she plays barefoot. And during the Gold Rush interview, when the band was asked about the maid outfits, and particularly Misa's, which didn't look like a maid outfit, Miku answered that it's an assassin-made outfit.
Ah.
The second thing you'll notice about Misa is that she always has a bottle of whiskey on her amp while performing live. And she even drinks in the MV of Don't You Tell Me.
Yeah.
If you look closely at every performance, you can spot the bottle.
It's
that she
Jim Beam
drinks
every
during
time?
MCs. During the U.S. tour in 2022, she even had her own opening ceremony where she opened a can of beer in front of her mic to make a loud sound, and the audience really loved that moment. Misa used to open a can of beer or drink whiskey during MCs for a long time, and she even shared a bit of her whiskey with a fan in 2019 during a concert in the New York Mercury Lounge. She is thought to be the one who drinks the most, but if you had a chance to listen to the Radio for Omesu-sama episode aired on August 1st, 2021, you would learn that they all actually drink a lot. Except for Konami.
Dude, hold on. This picture right here, hold on, right somewhere.
They all actually.
I freaking love this one. That is so funny. That is so good.
A lot. Except for Konami. who falls asleep before she gets a chance to drink.
That makes sense.
Despite her love for alcohol, Misa tweeted in May 2022 that she came to realize that it was too much for her and she decided to be more careful in the future. And now it's time to talk about Misa's playstyle. As usual, I'll let proper bassists present their thoughts to you on...
Oh, I'm excited about this.
Misa. Gentlemen, if you please.
So what makes Misa a great bassist? First of all, she went to musical school, so she learned a lot about music theory. You can see that in her playing. She's constantly moving around the root note, adding or removing note at the end of her phrases, changing the tone by going all over the neck and not just staying at the low end. She masters all the playing styles, finger style, slap, pick. She knows when to use them and always use the right one at the right moment. She can switch from one to another in a blink of an eye, like when she does her pick flip to switch from pick to slap. Her right hand work is so smooth and precise. It's mesmerizing. When it comes to her role in the band, she's a lead bassist. She can flawlessly jump from just playing the root note to taking the lead or providing an harmony to the vocals.
That's so freaking true.
There is no boundaries in her playing. That's what makes her so interesting and very inspiring to me. She's my favorite bassist, and I hope to hear her and BAND-MAID for a lot more years.
When I think back about all of the bands that I've loved for many years, so many great bass players. But when I think of the bassists who really excited me, or more importantly, the ones whose parts I wanted to learn how to play, I think they all have kind of one thing in common. And that's the use of the bass, not just as a tonal and rhythmic foundation for a song or that kind of glue that holds a band together, but they use the instrument as another source of melody and melodicism and musicality. And I think there are far fewer of those kinds of bassists out there. So imagine my delight as a bassist discovering BAND-MAID, where you have Misa, who's just constantly up and down the neck playing what aren't super complicated parts, but making these really musical choices about a note here versus a note here. She's in many ways a counterpart to Konami in that they're always expanding on a riff or adding new textures or new little motifs. They may play something fairly straight the first time, but after that, forget it. And it's not again like the parts are super complicated or technically difficult. They're just really smart, or for me the big thing is that they're really musical.
How would I describe Misa's playing style?
Sometimes plays bass.
That's a tall order. What makes her special to me is her writing and her flawless ability to judge what to play and when to play it, without shying away from taking up space. She doesn't just serve the song, filling out the lower frequencies, locking up with the drums. She's actively creating a large portion of what makes the songs what they are. The groove, drive, momentum, anticipation, tension. It's like all her parts serve a purpose larger than just playing notes that work in the right tempo. She really adds another thick layer to the onion that is BAND-MAID. One of my favorite habits of hers is when she's having a bit of a bass solo during the guitar solo, as can be heard in Manners and Reincarnation, for example. It's so backwards to the old tropes about backing down during a solo. But it's always so tastefully made and never distracting. Rather, the opposite. She also has this ability to tap into what the other instruments are doing and create her own parts from that, seamlessly switching between what instruments to follow. A prime example of that can be heard in the second verse of About Us, especially in the live version. She starts out by establishing the groove with the drums for the first 3 bars, and then a fill during the 4th bar, setting herself up for the next 4 bars, where she gradually starts playing off the vocals. The first 2 bars by matching the vocal phrases, subdivided by 16th notes, and for the second 2 bars, now the transition is complete, and now she just plays a lower harmony to the vocals.
Dude, he broke that down.
She immediately switches to locking up rhythmically to Kanami's octave climb for one bar. And then, for the last bar, she rounds everything off with a little fill of 16th notes, almost like a drum fill. All that during 10 bars. Her playing and writing is a big reason why I keep coming back to their music over and over again.
That's so well put, man. That was beautiful.
Thank you very much for taking the time to share your experience and knowledge and your feelings regarding Misa's playstyle. I wonder what you, the viewer, what do you think of Misa as a bassist? I'm very interested to know what's on your mind. Let's move to the end of our journey.
No!
Misa learned to play a lot of instruments, and even though she knew which ones she wanted to learn, she ended up playing the one instrument she never even thought about. From the moment she picked up a bass, Misa never stopped playing it.
That's awesome.
She loves bass so much that she even switched courses to become a professional bassist and live from her passion. In the end, Misa ended up with BAND-MAID thanks to the boldest move and the perfect timing.
Yeah.
And BAND-MAID is a band where everyone shines. Everyone has a moment in every song. We're used to seeing guitarists and drummers being highlighted, but bassists? That's not very common. How many bands that you listen to allow their bassists to really shine?
I gotta say, like, just looking at this picture of them all playing here and you were able to actually see each individual, especially after watching this documentary, like, it means so much more. Each person is, like, got a massive freaking awesome story behind it. I mean, like, I think that's the case probably with a lot of different bands. You just don't ever know about them. But this documentary really makes you understand, like, how they got to where they're at right now, and it makes you like even love seeing them perform more because you know how much they've got in this, you know. I think that's awesome, man. Again, I can't say enough about how much I love this documentary series. They've done an amazing job.
I'm talking about bands with 2 guitars or a guitar and a piano. I'm sure you can find some examples, but since its creation, BAND-MAID has always found a way to allow Misa to find her spotlight. From thrill to influencer.
Yes, dude.
Dice. Or even manners. During live performances introducing a song, or to go crazy on a duel with Konami.
Yes, my favorites.
Even though Misa's personality is mostly introverted, when she is on stage playing bass, she seems finally free and is having the time of her life. She even learned programming and participated actively in the songwriting process. Since she joined BAND-MAID, Misa followed her passion to become a professional bassist and surrounded herself with the best group of friends who have become very close to what we can call a family.
Aww. I freaking love that. That was awesome. Aww. Again, I cannot stress enough how much I'm liking this documentary series. This has been so freaking cool, man. So freaking cool. Man, I'm thoroughly loving this. Thank you so much, Mason, our Patreon, for introducing me to this documentary series in the first place. Thank you guys for introducing me to the Discord that is going on. There's a BAND-MAID Discord that is freaking amazing, by the way. I am loving this documentary series. It's been so freaking cool to get to know them that much better. And then like now seeing them on stage, really being able to put like a story to the face of each member. We've got one left, and this is the founder. I cannot freaking wait to be getting into that last episode. And again, we'll be posting them early access on our Patreon at least a day early, and I should have that next one up in a couple of days. Yeah, again, thank you guys. Thank y'all so freaking much. I loved this. I hope y'all are having a blessed day or night, whatever time it is you're watching this. Spread some positivity out there. Be kind to each other. And if anybody needs anything at all of my socials are at John Reeves Live. Send me a message and I'll catch y'all next time. Freaking toodles!